Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday. BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. So the idea for today actually came from our meetup that we hosted while we were on our BookTube Besties little trip in Madison. So during the discussion, I don't know how we came up. Oh, we were looking at one of their reading journals. She brought it with her and was kind of passing it around. We were all checking it out. And one of them was books with directions in the title. So we stole it. Like wholeheartedly, we're like, we're gonna take this idea. And we did. So we're gonna talk about 5 books that have some sort of direction, like north, south, east, west within the title. So of course, the first one I thought of was North and South. Very, in my opinion, kind of classic Civil War era book. I read the first one, loved it. I feel like most people should read that book. Right? And I need to get to the second one. But I thought that was too obvious, so I found 5 different ones. First one I want to talk about is A River in Darkness. This is how one man escaped from North Korea. North is my word. This is a nonfiction book that I think I got it off NetGalley, so I read it on my Kindle, and I really enjoyed this book as much as I can say I enjoyed a book about such heartache. But it really follows this author's journey as he was in North Korea, what he did to escape North Korea, what happened to him after that, what happened to his family, what he went through. It's such a good book. It's hard to read at times, but it's a really good book. The next one I want to talk about, we're going to stick with the same nonfiction theme, and we're going to talk about Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. This is stories from a South African childhood. So this follows Trevor Noah, who is a comedian. He hosts, I believe it's The Daily Show, and this talks about him growing up during the apartheid in South Africa. So his mother was black and his father was white, so that's why he was born a crime. Like, that was a crime to do that. So it also goes through like how he grew up, what the culture was for someone in his position, the antics that he pulled that were quite funny. There's funny pieces to this book, but there's also very serious pieces to this book, and just what he was taught and how he learned to live in the position that he was in, his relationship with his mom, his relationship with his dad, his relationship with his friends. It goes through all of it. It's a pretty short book, but it is a fantastic read. I highly recommend this one. All right, so then I have 3 books I have not read. They are all historical fiction, so I feel like that's appropriate. I don't know, is it a theme in historical fiction to have directions? Maybe. First one I need to read is Widow of the South by Robert Hicks. This is a book I've had on my shelf for way too long. But it takes place in 1894. We have Carrie. She's an old woman who has only her former slave to keep her company when almost 1,500 soldiers buried in her backyard. That's how it starts out. So years before, rather than let someone plow over the field where these young men were buried, Carrie dug them up and reburied them in her own personal cemetery. Now as she walks the rows of the dead, an old soldier appears. It's the man she met on the day of the battle that changed everything. The man who came to her house as a wounded soldier and left with her heart. He asks if the cemetery has room for one more. Right? It sounds glorious. The next one I have is Northern Spy. This is by Flynn Barry, also a Reese's Book Club book. So this one, let's see. We have a producer at the BBC and mother of a new baby, Tessa, is at work in Belfast one day when the news of another raid comes on the air. The IRA may have gone underground in the 2 decades since the Good Friday Agreement, but they never really went away, and lately bomb threats and security checkpoints and helicopters floating ominously over the city have become features of everyday life. As the news reporter requests the public's help in locating those responsible for the robbery, security footage reveals Tessa's sister at the scene be pulling on a ski mask over her face. And we go from there. So, another one I really want to get to. And then the last one I want to talk about is The Queen of the South by Arturo Perez Reverte. That. I'm horrible at names. So we have our main character, Teresa. Her boyfriend happens to be a pilot, and he's really well known and called the king of the short runway because he can get a plane full of cocaine off of the ground in 300 yards. And in a ruthless business, life is often short, and Teresa has a special cell phone that he gave her, along with a dark warning. If the phone rings, it means he's dead. And she'd better run because they're coming for her next. And then the call comes. And we go from there. Not historical fiction like I thought it was. I wonder which one I was thinking of. I was thinking of a book called On a Gate Hill. That's what I was thinking of because it is similar. Anyways, not historical fiction, so two of them were. But I remember when I did pick this one up, it was kind of not necessarily a cover buy for me. It was more of, I think I heard this on a podcast, but now I'm intrigued again. This is why I need to go through my shelves more, right? Anyways, those are 5 books that have some sort of direction in the title of them. I'm gonna send you over to Sarah's channel quick before my cat changes the light. Anyways, head over to Sarah's channel and see what she has picked for today. I'm curious. Maybe she'll have North and South. I don't know. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.